Welcome to Soul Thrive, where we explore spirituality through healing trauma, shadow work, and applying the laws of the universe in order to master ourselves without the fear of the unknown.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Soul Thrive podcast.
Hi, guys.
And on this episode, we want to talk about the Teal Swan event that we recently went to. You loved it. You were so excited to go. I was too.
Yes.
Learned a lot.
Yes.
Only went for the half day, but I think it was it was confirming a lot of the things that we've already been talking about,
and working through as a community.
What I like.
Well, yeah, that too. But it was also what I loved about it. We did go with some Soul Thrive members. There was, I think, about 6 or 8 of us that had gone all together, which was
we rolled in deep.
We actually showed up, and it was such a beautiful experience because it was a full day workshop, a full day event, and what I loved about it was, because I know Teal Swan's method very well. I've been following her for a very long time, and I know what her process is. I've been to an event years ago. I actually went with another fellow Soul Thrive member, and we went together, and I got to meet Teal Swan in person. I was so intimidated. I mean, I had just started.
Oh, did you actually?
Yeah.
Did she call you on the stage?
No, I met her privately, like a private.
Not even worse.
Yeah. So, but she was really, really genuinely sweet and nice, and her energy in her auric field is very cool. Like, it just feels very peaceful,
like grounding.
It's grounded and peaceful. So when you're in her presence, you can actually feel that. It was a very interesting vibe and energy overall, even with the amounts of people that were in there. I think there was about 500 of us, 450, something like that. Yeah. So it was a big group of people, but everyone was really great. The beginning of the workshop, she started with like a little, sit down and ask everybody questions, kind of work through some stuff. Yeah. Which was interesting because it was really about you had to partner up with people whether you knew them or not. And then it was like, okay, give someone a 5-minute kind of explanation about what's going on in your life.
Something that you're working through, something that you've had like challenges manifesting.
Yeah, I think, exactly. And so the other 3 individuals in a group of 4 had to then express, if I were you, what would I do? So it's
like that mirror aspect.
Right. Yeah. So it was like, if I were you, let's say the problem was, I have this issue going on with work and I'm not happy in my work environment and, all that. And then it would be like, if I were you, I would go talk to your manager about your concerns. If I were you,
I would do this.
I would do this, that, the other, right? So in the end, someone was kind of writing down the information as everybody was having a turn. And what I loved about it in the end, it was like, every little thing that you needed to hear about what you need to actually do with your life and your experience. It was like, here it is on a piece of paper.
Yeah, and you heard it from another person, which is so funny, but it was like that person was like an aspect of you.
Yeah.
Telling you, giving you the message. But I think that was all prompted by her first initial meditation, which I thought, like, it was so simple, but it was very powerful.
Yeah,
I think it was like, so the meditation was all about, think about your life today, and if nothing at all changes today, so she would guide us through it, go into what does your life look like a year from now, and then like 5 years from now, and then like 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and then literally on your deathbed. And I think, and one of the reasons why she wanted to do that was she was like, I need to light a fire under your guys' asses.
Well, yeah, because
of the collective energy.
Right. So Teal Swan does this thing where she kind of walks around the city and kind of, or even just like wherever she's visiting as far, and she picks up the vibrational stance that's going on in that city. And for us, vibrationally,
for Toronto,
she was like, I never experienced a place that has so much pain. And that people are literally living inauthentically. They want their authenticity, but they don't know where they belong. And the, waiting for something to happen.
That was a big one.
Right?
She was like, all of you are just sitting here waiting for like a miracle, for like something to happen.
But just show up at your front door.
For someone to come to your front door and like save you out of your experience. And she's like Toronto is all about like, no one is taking any action. It's like you're all just sitting in your fucking limitations.
Yes.
And then hoping to be saved.
Right. Which was, and it's funny because like doing the work that I do, I've been telling clients this for a very long time. So for me, it was like, oh my God, thank you so much for validating exactly what I've been feeling when I'm working one-on-one with clients, or when I'm, doing a workshop, or I'm talking about, a topic on something specific, that like limited mindset and victim mentality and rejection. And that was the key thing too that she kept emphasizing. It's like there's so many people afraid to step into their pain, and they don't register that in order for you to get better with your rejection, in order for you to get better with the things that you want out of your life, you have to be willing to feel things.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to express those parts of you and not avoid them. Right. And so it was interesting because some of the questions, I think the people that vibrationally we chose to come on to the stage, because that's what she does after she kind of picks a person based on the collective experience. And then collectively, we've assigned this person the shadow part of all of us.
But like the biggest shadow.
Right.
Like,
so there were some funny moments. I'm not going to lie. Like there was one guy who was like, I want to be able to do nothing and just make money. And she laughed and she was like, you know what? It doesn't really work like that. You still have to bring something to the table. You still have to have value, because there's so much that gets misconstrued with manifesting, right? Everyone assumes like, well, the universe is just going to deliver what it is that I want.
Think about it and it's going to come.
It's going to show up. And it's like, well, no, if you don't have anything to offer, then you won't have an exchange in that experience.
But I think that was the most painful part. Like when she started to unravel that for him. He truly believed that he had nothing of value to offer to people, and I think that was really sad, and that was a reflection of like how people in the audience were feeling.
They were
and when
feeling that.
And when she asked them like, well, why do you think that you have like nothing like to offer? Like what else is surrounding that experience? He said like, I don't want to be rejected. Like I think he wanted to be an artist or something.
Yes.
So he wanted to put out his works of art, and he was like, I don't want people to reject it, to say that it's shit, or my parents to be like, what the hell are you doing with your life? Like you shouldn't be an artist. So he's sitting there going, and I don't remember now how it's almost like, did he develop entitlement as a coping mechanism? Yes. Because it's like he was so like
his persona, how he was presenting himself was far different.
It was so arrogant. Like who he ended up being on stage was so different. Like you felt sorry for him.
Very wounded. In the sense of like living in your limitations and not actually being able to see that you have something beautiful to offer the world, and then expecting something at the same time to show up to show you that you have this beauty and all of these gifts and all of these opportunities to offer someone. And it just feels like all of us are walking around in that type of, to assume Toronto specifically, she was saying, and she did keep repeating, like, I did not expect to come to Toronto and feel this way and feel this amount of pain. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know if it's because you guys are people who mask a lot and like want to show like you're really nice, and like that was the other thing too.
Show your true
the other thing too. This one was like so vindicating for me. Like I felt so vindicated because I've been saying this for such a long time. I'm like, this overt niceness,
right? Like, isn't that the political correctness of this country as well?
Yes,
a little bit, right?
100%. But then it's like underneath that niceness, there's motivators. Like there's underlining motivators, and it's like,
I want to be like me. I'm a nice person.
But I don't want to be rejected. Can't be rejected. Right. You have to show me that you like me and accept me and that I belong somewhere. But I'm going to do it in a way where I'm so nice to you that you don't even have a reason to have an issue with me or to reject me or to even define whether or not the relationship dynamic that you and I have or the experience that you and I are having is real or not.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to be the saint here so you can't say shit to me.
Exactly, right? So, and I've been seeing, oh my God, such a manipulative
disempower the other person. Then it's like, I can't tell you anything.
Well, there's a disabling. You take away their ability to be able to live authentically and express what they're feeling and what they're gathering as far as their information goes, to see whether or not this dynamic or the situation that they want to create works for them. And ultimately what it comes down to is I've been you know, I always emphasize, and I've been trying my best to kind of make people understand, like, be comfortable with the rejection, right? So like I said, we were at this event, she's having this conversation, I'm like, oh my God, there it is. Like, she's literally communicating exactly what I've been saying. This covering the emotion around rejection is not going to prevent you from not feeling rejection. You're still going to feel rejected. The issue is that we'll villainize someone else and make them out to be the bad guy for the rejection instead of actually sitting with and feeling the pain of those experiences. I mean, it was a full day's event. There was a lot of really great tidbits of information throughout the day. And as more people were coming on, there was more of this unraveling of these layers around the sense of belonging, the rejection, the value, and even relationship dynamics too, which was interesting because she showed a very interesting pattern that is exhibited in relationships where there's this need for one person to compromise themselves in a relationship and give their power away completely. And so how she showed it was she actually embodied this person's collective consciousness.
Was this in the afternoon?
Yeah, because you weren't there in the afternoon.
Yeah, okay.
So she embodied, so when I say embodiment, so you guys can understand something when it comes to channeling and when it comes to being able to, and I can do this too. If I want to embody the frequency of something, I will move into that state. And so that's what she did too. She embodied.
So she was a part of someone else.
She was a part of someone else, but not her. She was embodying the collective of all the men that she's ever dated.
Oh, so okay. So just to clarify, so you're Teal, and I come on. And I guess she was talking about her relationship issues. And then Teal, I guess, knows or sees the pattern. Yeah. It's almost like she's dated the same guy over and over again. So she steps into like this man, the archetype of the man that she's been dating. The archetype,
the energy, the feeling, the intention.
And how the hell did that go?
Oh my God, it was so fascinating. It was so interesting. I mean, this kind of gave me a moment to go, oh my God, now I get what I do. Because sometimes I'm around certain individuals, or when I'm working with certain individuals, I know that I'm tapped into their subconscious or I'm tapped into their consciousness. And so I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and then personality starts to change and morph into certain layers. So sometimes when I'm working with someone, it can come off as like I'm being really aggressive in nature or whatever, but it's like your subconscious is acting this way, so I'm mirroring this back to you. Anyways, to get to the point, she tapped into this archetype of male energy, and they were all the same in the sense where they kept saying to her, like, she needs me, she can't do life without me, like she can't even make a decision without me. She needs my help and my support. And even though the woman was trying to say, no, I'm empowered, she'd still fall into the pattern. It was so painful to watch her exhibit the exact same. So Teal embodied exactly
the man. Literally. It's like your next man that you're going to attract is going to be that.
Exactly. The pattern that she was living in. And it was so painful to watch this woman want to exhibit a form of prioritizing what's right for herself,
like an empowerment,
a sense of empowerment, a boundary, and she literally, she could see it. She could be like, oh my God, yes, I do that. There was one point, for instance, I'll give you this. Teal kicks off her shoes.
Okay.
Kicks them off and kind of throws them in front of the girl. And the girl instinctively was going to get up and go grab the shoes. And Teal's like, I knew you were going to do that. You were going to pick up after me anyways. So
while still channeling the male energy.
She still she exhibited, she said, when I'm channeling this type of information, I am not myself. I'm not Teal anymore. I'm literally doing, and she's like, and so Teal had her best friend Graciela on, and Graciela was facilitating with this girl, and she's like, don't pick up the shoes, and then Teal was, that's what she would have done anyways, kind of dynamic, right? And she's like, yeah, I would have done that. Like, she's like, I would have, I wanted to pick.
Did she see finally what she was doing?
Towards the end, like, there were moments where she really wanted to get out of it, because it was just getting more and more painful to see how much you would abandon yourself in a relationship to get a man, basically.
Well,
it wasn't just that. that. It was because she had developed a pattern within herself where she couldn't trust herself enough to make the decision that she needed to empower her life and her experiences and really get into a healthier like relationship dynamic.
So did she need the man to help make a decision? Was
she
that
just
the
dated
dynamic?
a lot of men where they would embody, but
just
they
make decisions for her.
right, but they were also not loyal to her.
Or
They
had
were-
her best interest in
No,
mind.
they weren't
probably.
loyal to her. They didn't have their best interests in mind. They had other women. Like they
So
really
what was the root cause of her? Was it rejection again?
yeah, there was a component of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know my value, the rejection, I don't know what I have to offer, I can't make my decisions.
So I guess doesn't that make sense then? If that's how we're all feeling collectively, why we're not making? Because how can you? Because if Teal says like the energies, we're just sitting here waiting, kind of stuck. And that's why I guess we're stuck, because we don't know our value. You just said it. We don't know our value.
Yeah, and there's a
We
lot
don't
of
know how to move
relationships like that
forward.
for sure.
We're stuck in relationships and
Yeah.
friendships and whatever that don't serve us. And we're not making, like, you know what, like, I'm just thinking, like, what do you need to have in order to make forward movement,
So,
which is what
so
she's saying.
she said, and I 110% agreed with her on this, it was bravery.
But that bravery comes with a lot. It
Right.
comes with.
So she said, I mean, if we're in alignment to these aspects of ourselves, then we have the ability to go on the opposite spectrum of that, which imagine if you're just brave enough. And she's right when she says, I can't show you what bravery looks like. I can't give you a process of what bravery looks like. You literally have to be brave enough to face that and do that and be that and exhibit that and behave this way. You have to show up every single day and just be brave to try the new thing and have that new experience. Or just brave enough to face your emotions and brave enough for you to make changes and brave enough for you to love yourself.
And and meet people who say, well, I don't like what you're doing.
Oh my God, yes.
I don't like your drawing. I don't like your writing.
I don't like you.
what
I don't
you're
like
putting."
this. I don't like, yeah, great. Thank you so much. You're not my person.
Yeah.
Which for me, like I said, it was so validating because I've been at the beginning of my career. What do you mean you don't like me? What do you mean? Oh my God, did I say that wrong? Did I upset you? Did I hurt your feelings? That wasn't what I wanted. Now, it's your trauma that's leading, my friend. I don't care. Not that I don't care. Don't get me wrong. I'm a human being. I'm
I
going
don't
to
care
care.
to soothe
But I'm not
you
here
to that extent. Yeah.
I'm not here to make you feel better about your trauma other than if you're not willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work and we're working together and whatever it is that you're doing and you're not taking accountability for the fact that this is my role and this is what I'm doing, that you rejecting me has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. I know I was only there for the beginning, but I think that meditation was very, I mean, you were in my group when
That
we were
meditation
doing,
was interesting because everybody else had a different experience.
but I know you had a weird one, but that's
had a very
to
weird
be
one.
expected. I feel like at this point I got really emotional because I'm like, I don't want the life that I don't want my life to look like the way it did in the meditation, meaning I make no changes to my day-to-day, to what I'm doing, to my approach. And I feel like that was the fire.
Yeah, but do you see how brave you got with that after like a few weeks?
I guess I guess I needed to see that. Like, is that like, because that fear of continuing on the same path was like, fuck, I don't care. I'd rather you not like me in the process than me wake up, when I'm like 90 or 100,
but
God willing, to be like, I regret my life.
Yeah, well, for me, I'd rather like myself more.
Right. But that's it. It's like,
you know
why
what I mean?
would
Like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you don't like me. I'm so sorry that those are your feelings. I respect that. I understand that. You have an opinion of me. You've had.
Let's conflict resolve. There's always that openness.
If you
right?
are open to conflict resolve with me, I am all game. I am all game. If you want to come to me and have a conversation, I hurt your feelings, I made you feel a specific way, whatever that may look like, I'm all game to sit down, let's figure this out, let's unravel it. But if you're just going to be a hater and you're going to just reject me because of your own stuff or one or two interactions and you don't really know me and you don't know my heart, first of all, you got to earn that. I'm sorry. Do you think think that I'm going to open myself up to you and give you all of me and just assume that that's how I'm going to get your acceptance. No, there's got to be a level of me respecting my energy and who I am. And that doesn't mean I'm not a good person. That just means that my heart's open, but I'm not here to offer all of me to everybody. And not in the sense of like, work is different. Whatever theory, concept, information, it's neutral from me. It's not me. It's information that's coming through. It has nothing to do with me.
Right. You're just channeling the message that people need to hear. And if they have a problem, they should ask themselves, what is it that's triggering me right now?
Right. Whereas like the rejection of me, it took a very long time for me to understand like, okay, well, you're rejecting me as a person.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. I choose to like me more.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that we went, and just that meditation alone, I think, how they say like people change when the fear of the current pain is too high to endure.
Yep.
Or the fear of not making a change.
And so I think Teal Swan was kind of saying, like, don't let it get to that point.
Yes.
Like, don't let it get to that point where now you're sick. Don't let it get to that point where now it's so bad you can't turn back from that. Now you're forced to, and it's worse, and you have to confront some really dark parts that are even harder to confront. Like, start now. Start that process now.
Because
And I love the message of just being brave. Like, just be brave. Just be brave. Put yourself out there. Do the things that you need. Do the scary thing. And that doesn't mean like risking your life and experiences, because I'm not going to go jumping off a building or something. But there are other things that I've been doing in the last little while for myself that I felt like, you know what, I would never have done this before. Because we're so comfortable in our comfort zones.
Yeah. No, that's true. And I think the one thing that I'm always afraid of, again, this also came up in the meditation, is like, that's how you attract some really bad like illnesses. Like when you put yourself secondary and when you dismiss yourself completely, it's like, I know Dr. Gabor Mate talks about so much. He says basically we now have research where I can look at your trauma and how you grew up, and we can now predict with a lot of certainty which women will develop breast cancer later on in their life.
Thank you so much, because I've been saying that for years.
Yeah. Or like anything to do with like grief, lung cancer, all of that. There's a whole body of like research. I'm not a physician or anything like that, but I've been like reading a lot about that, and it's like, no, I would like that not to be my experience, and I'm the only one who has the ability to change that.
Yeah, it's the truth. Nobody else is going to do it for you. No one's going to show up at your door, knock at the door and say, I'm here now. I'm here to do this for you now.
Save you. Yeah.
And this also falls into that relationship dynamic. You're not going to find a person that's going to save you. It's not going to be in a relationship, because the relationship is when you attract it, it's also going to highlight all the shadow emotions. When you're in a partnership, it's going to bring out more of those parts of you.
Yeah.
So regardless, like overall, that was an amazing, amazing experience. I think we all walked away just with a very different mindset, a good shift in our consciousness overall. And I think everybody really felt it in the room. I know the girls and I really felt that when we left. We were like, yeah, you know what, that makes complete sense. For me, and I don't mean it in a bad way, it was just like, yep.
It was
this is great. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that I feel like I'm not crazy for thinking and feeling and seeing all the things, like, because there really is no gauge unless I talk to more spiritual people and then deliberate with them and have these conversations with them, which I think we're doing with the podcast, and I'm really excited about. And it's been really great to be able to kind of like talk to someone that energetically has those experiences. There really isn't any other than me just validating me. And then that moment was like huge, because it was like, oh yeah, everything I've been saying, thank you so much for just validating that experience for me. And it was a great, great day.
Yeah. Bravery. Onwards.
Bravery. Yes. Love it. Okay, guys. So be brave. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Chat soon. Bye.